What if every pain you feel, every stress you carry, and every negative emotion that drains you could instantly become less personal simply by changing one fundamental way you relate to your own mind? This is not a motivational idea. This is a scientifically proven psychological technique used by therapists worldwide and confirmed by over 2,500 years of Buddhist wisdom. And it starts with one simple shift. Start treating your mind as an external object rather than as yourself. Let me explain what that means. Right now, you probably experience your mind the way most people do. When stress appears, you say, I am stressed. When pain arrives, you say, I am in pain. When anxiety comes, you say, I am anxious. Notice what you are doing in each of those statements. You are merging yourself completely with the experience. You are saying that you and the feeling are the same thing. But think about this for a moment. You have a pen. You use that pen to write, but you would never say, I am the pen. You have a phone. You use that phone to communicate, but you would never say, I am the phone. So why, when your mind produces stress or anxiety or pain, do you immediately say, I am stressed, I am anxious, I am in pain? What if instead of being those feelings, you simply had a mind that was currently experiencing them? This distinction is not just philosophical. It changes everything about how you process difficulty. Modern psychology has a name for this technique. It is called cognitive diffusion, and it is one of the core principles of acceptance and commitment therapy, one of the most widely researched and evidence-based therapeutic approaches in the world today. Research published in peer-reviewed journals confirms that cognitive diffusion, the practice of creating distance between yourself and your thoughts, significantly reduces the intensity of anxiety, depression, stress, and negative self-perception. It does not eliminate the feelings, but it removes their power to control you. Because when you are fused with a feeling, when you believe you are the stress or the pain, that feeling has complete authority over your behavior and your state of mind. But when you observe the feeling from a slight distance, when you notice that your mind is currently producing a stress response rather than believing that you are stressed, something remarkable happens. The feeling becomes information rather than identity, and information you can work with, information you can respond to intelligently. Now here is where it gets even more profound. Over 2,500 years ago, Lord Buddha arrived at this same understanding through an entirely different path. He called it Anatta, which translates as the concept of no fixed self. His central teaching was this: the belief that your thoughts, feelings, and mental states are you is the single most fundamental misunderstanding a human being can hold. Feelings are not you. Stress is not you. Pain is not you. They are experiences arising in your awareness. You are the awareness itself, not the content passing through it. Modern psychological research published in 2025 in the International Journal of Social Sciences confirms that Buddha's teaching of anatta, when applied practically, significantly reduces suffering, anxiety, and stress in people who adopt it. It helps people achieve emotional positivity, psychological stability, and improved mental focus. The most conscious and psychologically advanced people who have ever lived arrived at this same insight. And now, neuroscience is confirming why it works. When you identify with a negative feeling, when you say, I am stressed, your brain processes that feeling as a core threat to your identity. And your nervous system responds accordingly with the full force of a survival response. But when you create distance, when you say, my mind is currently generating a stress response, your brain processes it as information about your environment rather than a threat to your existence. The physiological stress response reduces measurably, and you regain access to the parts of your brain responsible for clear thinking, problem solving, and purposeful action. So here is the practical exercise. The next time a difficult feeling arrives, instead of saying I am stressed or I am anxious or I am suffering, try saying this instead. I notice that my mind is currently producing a stress response. I notice that my mind is generating an anxious feeling right now. That is interesting. What might be causing this? In that moment of noticing, you step outside the feeling and become the observer of it rather than the prisoner of it. And from that observer position, you can respond wisely rather than react automatically. Now, your notes mention something very important about what causes the mind to generate these difficult states in the first place. Things like lack of physical exercise, trying to control things that are outside your control, and carrying excessive mental workload without recovery. Think of it this way. Your mind is like an incredibly powerful engine. If you run a powerful engine without rest, without maintenance, without fuel, it will overheat and malfunction. That overheating is not the engine being broken. It is the engine communicating that it needs attention. When your mind generates stress, anxiety, or low mood, it is not a sign that something is fundamentally wrong with you. It is your incredibly powerful mind signaling that it needs something. Perhaps it needs physical movement. Perhaps it needs rest. Perhaps it needs you to stop trying to control things that are genuinely outside your control. Perhaps it simply needs you to go outside, slow down, and allow it to recover. When you treat your mind as an external object, as a powerful tool you are responsible for maintaining rather than an identity you are trapped inside, you stop taking its difficult outputs personally. You start managing it intelligently. And here is the most important thing to understand about the feelings your mind produces. Success and depression, confidence and anxiety, energy and exhaustion, these are not who you are. They are chemical reactions happening inside a biological system. Just as a car engine produces heat when it is overworked, your mind produces difficult feeling states when certain conditions are present. Identify the conditions. Respond to them practically. Do not let the temporary chemical state become your permanent identity. Because the person who learns to observe their mind rather than become their mind has access to a level of freedom that most people never discover. The freedom to choose how to respond rather than being controlled by automatic reactions. The freedom to maintain your sense of self even when the mind is going through difficult states. The freedom to use your mind as the extraordinary tool it actually is rather than being used by it. Start practicing this today. The next difficult feeling that arrives, pause. Notice it. Name it. And remember that you are not that feeling. You are the one noticing it. And that distinction, small as it sounds, is the beginning of one of the most powerful changes you can make in how you experience your own life. Alright, that is it for today. I will see you in the next video. Take care.